Couch Conversations with Carmelita.
And I hope you enjoy this pink couch talk. Pink couch talk? Let's do it again.
Pink Couch Conversations. The alliteration, girl.
We have a liftoff.
Today, I just wanted to check in with one of the badass women I knew. Our new norms are kind of crazy, and I just wanted to check in with you because I know you have a lot going on. You're a mom, you're a wife, you're working on your PhD, you have a law degree, like all these things going on. And I just wanted to touch base with you to see how you're managing your life right now.
So the honest answer is, like, I'm not. Like you said, it's the new normal. Is like, for me, it kind of feels like it's just constantly scrambling. Right. And so you try to do all these things like, you know, plan in advance and like meal plan and schedule workouts and stuff. But my son is, I should know this, he's a little over a year and a half. You know, like today, like he decided he wasn't going to take a nap. And I'm like, all right. But that's also like 2 or 3 hours that we normally have to like do things. So it's just constantly unpredictable because my husband's working from home now as well. So both of us are. We have like our offices on opposite ends of the hallway and then like miles running back and forth in between. So like as we said earlier, like I'm making it. I'm here, but this new normal is definitely taking me longer to adjust to than I hoped that it would. I mean, I hate to say it because I don't feel like this is helpful, but I mean, I think I adjust the same way that women do everything else, is we just do. Like it needs to be done, and so we do it. Like going back in time, I'm not sure if I could say, well, these are the steps that I took. Like that would probably be healthy to figure these things out, right? But at the same time, it's like, look, you wake up, all of this stuff has to get done, all these things need to be taken care of, including yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, most of it's done. I don't know how, but it is.
You seem to be taking things in stride, and you sound like you're very patient with yourself. That's my approach to everything, is just patience. What was the little baby girl's name that was like, patience. I'm talking about when she was like not trying to eat that's how I feel every day. To me, it sounds like you just take everything in stride. So how is it being patient with yourself? What does that look like for you?
So for me, it's giving myself the grace that I give to other people. I've always kind of been, from the time that I was really young, like one of those kids who wanted to, you know, do the best at everything and run everything and be in charge and do this and do that. Like I've always been extremely ambitious, right? I have these like very lofty goals for myself that, you know, as a young, like 20 something in college, like sure, check them off, right? But now it's like there are other people involved, other people to think about, other people to take care of, right? So it's harder for me now because I still like want to hold myself to these admittedly impossible a lot of times standards. But I also recognize that like if one of my friends was telling me about, you know, my problem, but they were telling me like I'm struggling with X, Y, and Z, I would be like, girl, sit down, drink some water, take a walk, right? So I'm trying to the emphasis on the effort because it's not accomplished yet, but the goal, right, is to kind of talk to myself as I would to a friend instead of, you know, just that negative self-talk like, oh, you missed it again, like try again tomorrow, but you probably won't miss your workout then too. Like, come on, bro. Like I would never say that to anyone that I cared about. 100%. So for me, it's really just like reframing the way that I'm allowing myself to talk to myself and being conscious of what I'm thinking of subconsciously, right? Like these defeating thoughts and, you know, feeling like I'm not a good mom and I'm not a good wife and I'm not good at my job anymore because everything's just getting like a little tiny piece, and just being like, no, your kid's still alive. He's very healthy. You're still married. You still have your job. So you're okay. That's the standard now. Is everyone living? Good. Go to sleep.
Speaking of standards, especially since, I mean, even from college, I've always known you to be a very ambitious person. So tell me, what is your idea of success, or what does success mean to you? Because you've named all of these things, and to me those are all successes at the end of the day, but you know, they look very differently to self. So what does success look like to you?
There's so many different ways that I could answer that because I kind of think of my life like in a segmented way, right? So like, what does success look like professionally and then personally, and what marker will prove that I'm a good mom, or you know, what will show me that, like, yes, my marriage is healthy, right? So I think of it in all these different ways, but I would like to believe, like, what I'm trying to train myself to believe, again, because that negative self-talk is real. But what I'm trying to train myself to believe that if I am joyful, then like that's success. And I don't mean just like happy as in like, oh, had a good day, right? Keep it moving, but no, like joy regardless of circumstance. Like that's the kind of success that I am trying my best to seek and to work towards, right? Because everything can, as we all have seen, everything can change in a day, in a month, in a week, right? Everything that you knew is now just, you know, on the other side of a border, or, you know, it's just, the world is crazy. And so having standards for me, because my goals and my definitions of success were always very external. Like you said, like anyone would look at me and be like, oh, Minta's so ambitious, right? And I was like, yeah, I am. But at the same time, like, okay, you went to law school. A lot of people go to law school, right? So is that the only thing that is going to make you successful? It's like, no. I think, you know, and I think that's actually what you talked about this in like one of your previous conversations. Thinking about happiness or joy is something that you kind of decide for yourself. That these external validations are just that. Like, I don't necessarily need to be validated in the same way that I needed to when I was younger. And so recognizing that, like how my life has changed, like I don't need to hold on to the things that I clung to so tightly when I was 22, right? Because now at 30, like my life is different. And for me, it's a struggle to give up maybe a goal or two that I had when I was 22, because I'm like, I've worked on this for so long. But like, I don't even want it anymore.
Isn't that something?
Right?
Isn't that something? Like, I read somewhere that you have to give yourself the flexibility to get what you want and then change your mind after you've got it. And like that ideology just blew my mind, because I'm like, I worked so hard for this thing to attain this thing, and then I got it, and I realized it's not all it's cracked up to be. I no longer want this thing, no matter what it is.
Even if it's something great, right? Like even if it's something fantastic, you're like, all right, I got it. I'm super excited. But now I have it. And so like, what am I going to do next?
Yeah. I just feel so seen when you were talking about the joy piece, because even though, you know, I've spoke about it before and you've listened, it's like, it's still a daily reminder thing. It's like, I would love to say that I wake up every day like this free-spirited bird, but sometimes like real life is also real life. I have to pay my rent. I have to take care of my body. I have to remain healthy. I have to like take care of my mental health. But then you also have all of these outside factors that kind of like get into like my like, you know, peace and joy and happiness. Like I would love to say that I'm this zen ass person all the time, but we all know that's an impossible standard to attain. But even just to hear you say like, if I find joy, that is success to me. And it's just like so beautiful. I'm not finding joy in this bun right now, but if I find joy in something, it's like a beautiful thing, because it's something so simple, but yet so extravagant, because I don't know too many people who are chasing joy. Not in that way, you know?
And like I said, that's, for me, it's an aspiration, because I recognize, like looking back on my life, like times when I just really felt like I was killing it, I was enjoying myself. Like I was enjoying my work. I was enjoying the people that I was around, right? Like it wasn't necessarily, you know, the accomplishment itself. It was, for lack of a better word, like it was the vibe, right? It was just like that constant joy in what I was doing and the people that I was around, and like trees and the sun, and like these are the kinds of things that are like fueling me, as opposed to, you know, the pursuit of this one individual or specific goal.
Right.
Which now sounds like I'm just like, forget goals, which obviously is not the case, but you know what I mean.